edition of the Sports Corner. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And today we have the Barnes and Tony Show. Renee from the couch. How you doing, sir? Coming in hot.
I'm doing great, Brian. Really excited to have you back in the house, dude. Come on, man. Like, how was the trip?
I mean, unbelievable trip. And it was really cool too, because as I was mentioning, before I left, we started in San Diego, so we had 4 nights there. That's somewhere we've been before, so we kind of got the routine down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was I want to say I think our 4th time going to San Diego, so always been one of our favorite spots. So, the good beaches, the good food,
the good beer,
so that was awesome. The hotel had a nice pool, hot tub, so the pool, hot tub, beach, gotta go, laying out, that kind of cycle, never gets old.
That kind of cycle.
And it's interesting too, because it's not just, you've been here a while, and obviously it's different for you because you lived in New York for so long and now you're here in Connecticut. But me being in Connecticut my whole life, you're used to your surroundings.
Right.
It's just not is exciting, I guess you could say. But at the same time, I feel like the beaches and the scenery, it just so much like more exciting and like aesthetically pleasing, out there. I don't know if you kind of get that feel from when you go other places. And I get like the whole it's different when you live there thing, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's just Connecticut's like an older state. There's not as much newer things, but it's even just more than that, like the background, like,
Yeah, I mean, and I think, like you were saying, I mean, you go to one spot long enough, it's like anything different seems almost better too.
Right.
It's just like, I mean, you think about it. I mean, like you're still in the United States, but I mean, San Diego, far ways away from here, man.
Oh, yeah. So, a different ocean, Tony. It's a different color,
different time zone.
I love the time zone, and obviously NFL didn't start, and it was pretty cool too. My friend Jordan, who was here, for my birthday party, I actually met up with him because he just moved out to San Diego.
Oh, so, nice. Oh, nice.
He was saying he absolutely can't wait for football season. He's so riled for the 10 o'clock start.
Yeah, that's sick.
Done
dude.
with the prime time at 8. So he's riled about that. And San Diego was great. The food, you saw the picture of the cove, the cove, or I guess it's Coast Toast.
Yeah.
Over at Brockton Villa, the s'mores. Where I didn't get to like. S'mores? Yeah, it's a s'mores flavored Coast Toast, and what it is basically it's French toast, but it's like souffle inside, I guess, like a pudding type of thing, and then they go strawberries, the marshmallows, fudge on top of it. Unbelievable. Did you get to do a breakdown on that? Remember I tagged you.
We did not do the full breakdown on that.
Did not do the full breakdown.
No.
But I'm telling you would have loved it. Went there all 4 days to Brockton Villa.
Dude, that's crazy. All 4 days, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just that good. And then the carne asada, I saw that. 2 days actually. That was unbelievable. Like, I never usually have like a Benedict, but it's so good. Like, you like eggs Benedict?
I love eggs Benedict, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's like at the right spot too, and you feel a little fancy. It's a good go-to.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because like, just obviously the big thing is how you do the eggs Benedict, because you have your traditional eggs Benedict, but then you can mix it up. You can do lobster, you can do steak, all of that. But just something about the poached eggs, like I think it's like because we don't really have it all the time.
Yeah.
It just even though it's the same taste technically, I feel like it's just so much better.
Yeah, no, it's very different. And I mean, I think if you're looking for that yolk action, like it really is the best way to go.
Oh, yeah. So that was that was great. Really enjoyed that. And I was talking about the beaches too. Like it's just crazy how like the sand is just so much like softer. It's like a different color. Like it's unbelievable the difference in the beaches. And do you notice a difference yourself from like beaches in New York versus the beaches here with like sand and stuff, or do you feel like it's kind of similar?
No, I would say from here around the tri-state, I have been every beach, but the sand here the beaches here seem pretty similar to the ones, that have been on like a Coney Island or on Staten Island, similar sand, dude, similar water as well. So, which isn't really a good thing there, Brian. How was the water on the West Coast? Is it clean? Can you see your feet?
Yeah, you could see your feet. The only thing, freezing though. And it varied from beach to beach, but it just typically the Pacific Ocean, for whatever reason,
colder.
It's just colder. And I never quite understood it. And I know there's probably, some scientific explanation for it, but I just thinking about it like on a map, how it's like we're so much further away from the equator, but like how is the water colder when it's closer to the equator?
That's a good question. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something to do with the current. Maybe the current comes from the north. Or something like that.
Yeah, and the winds maybe too.
The northern winds.
And I don't know if it would have anything to do with it, but maybe it probably definitely doesn't. But like the humidity, humidity out there. Like it's perfect. And it's like, but the sun is so strong. So even though maybe it's only 74, 75, I mean, it feels like it's like 85 because it's like fully sunny.
Dry.
So it just perfect. So the food was great. I mentioned, obviously Brockton for breakfast, and then George's at the Cove, which is a place, we've been to before. We went there twice. And it overlooks, the whole Pacific Ocean. So get there a little before sunset. The bar just fully wide open, like at the third level, overlooking in La Jolla. Like that place is awesome. And it's funny too. I don't usually get linguine and clams, but I
don't.
No,
really?
Not typically. I don't know. I don't know. Clams, like I just always thought they were kind of blah, but I think it was like a different twist because typically, I mean, maybe they'll throw some like garlic, I guess, or maybe some like Parmesan. But when you make linguine and clams, like the whole flavor of that dish is really just the clams itself, the clam juice. But this, they added a lemon like sauce to it, and it was like one of the best dishes I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Are you big with the linguine and clams?
No, not
really.
Really,
don't like it. Like think it's like kind of like beat or not that?
No, I wouldn't say it's beat. I mean, it's delicious, made correctly for sure. But I mean, if I'm out at a restaurant, like I'm not, there's like 10 other things I'd rather get than linguine and clams. Very rare do I have that like.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying.
For
I never really get it myself. What would you say though with pasta? Like your best like seafood dish would be like go to?
Oh, probably like a shrimp or a lobster fried diavolo.
Oh yeah,
that's got to be the best, dude.
Yeah, that is really good. And then the other night when we were there, I got the pesto with shrimp. And it was unbelievable.
Honestly, adding shrimp to basically any pasta dish.
Right. And then, but it's got to be prepared the right way. And like it was, I'm saying that's what really makes it like the right seasoning with the shrimp. I mean, it's
was it like just your typical like pan-seared shrimp?
Yeah,
or you
pan-seared, garlic.
Oh,
yeah, you can't beat that. So, that was great. And then really the surprise was because like going into the trip, it was like, we love San Diego, La Jolla area. But we kind of want to see Orange County and Newport Beach. It was kind of just like, oh yeah, we'll like spend 2 nights there before we go home. And by the end of the trip, we were saying that we actually liked it better than San Diego. So I guess it was on Monday, we went to Laguna Beach, and it was like probably one of the nicest beaches I've ever been to, maybe right up there with like Aruba. But the water was actually the clearest out of all of them.
Wow.
And then just the scenery with like the houses up on the mountains.
Cool.
So you just the scenery was great. And then you saw, I think the picture of the sunset there was just unbelievable. Like I've never seen a sunset like that. And it was interesting too how you have your time. Okay, this is when the sun sets, but then it was still like 15, 20 minutes later, that orange glow was still there. Wow. It was so insane. And we did the it was like a sunset cruise that we did.
Oh,
It was just it was really, really cool seeing all the like the houses and everything there. So that was awesome.
Favorite moment, Brian. Favorite moment the whole time. And it can't be the linguine and clam dish.
Can't be the linguine clam dish. I mean, there's so many, but I would say honestly, it's probably a dead heat between Laguna Beach and then the sunset cruise. Like it was awesome. Like you really can't beat that background, and the resort was great as well. It was right on like a marina. So you have all these like huge boats right in front of you
that's cool.
for breakfast. So we went there a couple of times. Then at night they had the fire pits going. So you can't beat that. And the two restaurants we went to in Newport, one was Javier's, which I guess there's a couple locations, but like Mexican restaurant. And you would think, a Mexican restaurant that's, kind of spread out all over, somewhat, I guess like a smaller chain, like, probably not that good. Unbelievable salsa, tons of kick, the perfect, with the chips, like the perfect amount of salt. Sometimes it's like too much or nothing.
Dude. Yeah,
and it's it's not good. So fresh. And it's and we've talked about this before, but it's like always so hard not to overdo it with the chips and salsa before dinner comes out. Like impossible. But yeah, that margarita and then the steak fajitas. I mean, when can you not go for some steak fajitas, right? I mean, you're tight again, Tony. Let's hear it. What's the problem with the steak fajitas?
I mean,
you don't like fajitas. You want a taco. What is it? The onions and peppers you don't like? Like I feel like there's got to be something behind it.
I don't know.
Versus a steak taco.
Like, I'd rather just have a prepared taco on the dish with like rice and beans and stuff, as opposed to have the whole fajita thing going on.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't think I've ever even ordered fajitas before.
Wow.
Wouldn't even think to.
Do you like fajitas, Renee? You've never had them either?
I don't know.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know like fajitas were just tight.
My father's a big fajita guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves making his own thing at the table and just like mishmashing.
I feel like you could at least give me this, Tony. Like I feel like part of the reason I like it, I guess it depends where you get the taco, but I just like that you could put,
as much onions and peppers you want.
Like, because I feel like sometimes they're kind of stiff on the toppings for the tacos.
One of these days, dude, we'll go around here. I don't know where your
Cactus
spot
Rose.
is.
Yeah. Yes, in
Cactus Rose.
Done.
Fajitas, dude.
So that was great. So really was impressed with Newport Beach, and we were saying like definitely gonna be our new spot like moving forward. And then so that was great. And then like I was texting you in the group chat yesterday to top it off. I mean, just a great 6-day trip, but then to just wake up yesterday and get the free business class upgrade, Tony, I have to say it was like I didn't know what to expect going into it, and it was like literally because how like flying, especially cross country, like it's like so long, it's such a long day, the time difference, you're stiff, you're uncomfortable. This was, I would say, I mean, by far the best.
There we go, Brian.
Flight that I've ever had.
Dude. The Cabernet,
full lay down seats.
That's so sick.
Full open bar. And 3-course meal. So they start you out with
3-course meal.
3-course meal. So they start you out with first of all, actually they come around with orange juice, water, champagne. Got some champagne, and then they give you some like assorted nuts as like kind of a snack. And that was just to get started, Tony. And then they go salad with like the lemon vinaigrette. The pretzel bun, Tony. Tell me that you don't like a warm pretzel bun.
Love it. Of course I love it.
With the butter. So you had that. And then one thing that I like never really eat, but I like, whatever, I'll give it a try. It was a beet salad with goat cheese on top.
Oh, wow.
It was actually really good. So,
I do enjoy goat cheese.
That was a warm up. And then I got the gorgonzola beef fillet with scalloped potatoes. ridiculous. And you would think on a plane, like how good a quality is it really going to be? I'm not kidding. It was one of the best beef fillets I've ever had.
That's ridiculous.
So good.
Really?
I'm telling you. You know me. I have high
Right.
standards for these things. I'm not going to say, oh, some microwave dish was good when it was not. It was ridiculous. And then to top it off, full ice cream sundae. Oh, do you want this sauce, that sauce, or we could just throw it all on there? Oh yeah. Just throw it all on there. So full ice cream sundae. So good. And then to top it off, Tony, you think, okay, that's it. You're done. And keep in mind, this is like, they're coming around with the wine bottle. Oh, do you want some more wine, sir? All this stuff. They finish it off. Warm milk and cookies to finish it off.
Come on,
I
dude.
swear to God. Ridiculous. And keep in mind, full flat laying seat. They give you like these like big like headphones to listen to like the entertainment situation, and then full blanket and pillow.
Oh my God, dude.
Ridiculous.
Really
ridiculous.
Did
so
you sleep?
Didn't sleep, but I mean the whole time I was watching White House Plumbers, and then also got the Wi-Fi, so I was watching the Yankee game at the same time. So got to watch the entire Yankee game and watch White House Plumber. I mean, what more do you need on a cross-country flight, Tony?
Oh my God, nothing at all, dude.
So it's great too, because I bet I could see how like you would be tight about something like this. So I've had the American card, I want to say American Airlines credit card for like 6-7 years, $100 annual. So it's like there's free credit cards out there.
Right.
Like I have to pay this annual fee. Like, why do I have to do this? Blah blah blah. And for forever, like the only perk I was really getting for it, besides you get more miles and more like when you purchase their flights and stuff, and a free check bag. But I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm getting the free check bag. I guess I'm breaking even, but it's just kind of annoying like to see the annual fee show up. But they just completely redid the program where you charge a certain amount on your card every time you go on an American flight. They just automatically apply for an upgrade. So it's just like a surprise. Wow. Like you don't know if you're going to get it, but you don't have to do anything. They already go in the system and do it. So to wake up, see that, have that day, it made a really long, grueling day. I mean, a piece of cake. I mean, what more could you want? Cross country, especially because you could be, you're on a plane 5.5 hours and you're like in an uncomfortable seat. Like that's like beat. Like, you know what I mean? So it was awesome. So props to American Airlines for that. That's for sure.
So cool.
But me and Sam were talking about it, and it's like, going forward, it's going to be so tough to like have a regular seat now.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like it's like it was like an awesome experience, and then that's it. Sayonara, Tony.
It's over, dude. Never again.
But yeah, so you would have been riled too. The wine, like they had like a couple options. One was like either Napa Valley or Argentinian wine. Like it was like ridiculous, sick, like dude. That detailed of a process. So I mean that deserves a standing O.
Yeah, honestly, dude.
So yeah, what a week, what a trip. And it was amazing, for sure. But now it is good to be back, I have to say. Of course I was, keeping up with the show, but nothing like being here in studio, chopping up with you and chopping it up with the company, all of the DTV following. And as always, loaded with comments to start. And I can't believe that synopsis, took like almost 20 minutes.
Crazy, right?
Ridiculous.
A full week, dude. A full week.
So what do we got here?
Oh, we got the usual, dude. Kev Dews says, "What up, guys? Mets and Yankees suck. We want the smoke. Kev Dews in the house. I should remember the company. Master Bader is gone. Donald Duck is gone. We're gonna get to that.
We'll get to that.
Josh B again. Let's go. Welcome back from the assignment, Double B. Hashtag rep the company,
appreciate
dude.
The company. Appreciate Josh B and Kev Do. And Kev Do, if you could, me and Tony were just talking about us. Could you help us understand the do part? We know your name is Kev. What's the Kev Do angle?
The Kev Do angle.
If you could explain to us about that.
In the meantime, we have Matthew Gabriel chiming in. Yes. Shout out to the hashtag company. Look at you.
Always good to hear from Matthew.
Josh B, excited about your trip. Glad you enjoyed it. He says he'll pass on the clams.
Yes,
very
great trip.
Good
Josh.
Choice.
I guess Tony. This is like not even a white clam pizza though, Tony. No. Really?
White clam pizza.
I mean, I get it though. It took me a while to get into clams.
Shrimp, dude. Shrimp scampi pizza.
But yeah, no, I'll give you that. Shrimp, lobster, 100 times better. 100 times better. Maybe not 100, but better.
Lonnie also coming in. Let's go. Dude, good morning, guys. Of course, Double B is back wearing the golf gear,
Gold, though.
dude. I think he definitely means golf.
No, he's saying I'm gold plated.
No, he means golf, I'm sure, dude. We know Lonnie, the track record with the typos.
Yeah.
Tony, say goodbye to Mets talk. Football season around the corner, guys. Shout out to the company. Repping the company, baby.
We always talk about the Mets. Come on.
Yeah.
There's always time for that.
Something to cover here,
and before we actually get to the other comments, I was telling you about this before the show. Awesome last night. I'm driving home from the airport. It's almost 12 o'clock, and I'm listening to 98.7. Dojo ties on, and I hear Lonnie from Harlem is next. And Lonnie had a great call, and it was so funny. And I don't know if he said anything about it today, because I didn't really get to listen to too much of Rick and Dave. But Ty was alluding to the fact that for Stump Rothenberg, he hears Dave searching for the answers on the keyboard.
Stop it.
And they were talking about that on the show. It was great because Dave had come at Ty saying that his mother and his wife don't like Ty, that he's annoying. So it was really, really an entertaining call. And it was so funny. I'm like, Sam, this is who I'm, because she hasn't met Lonnie yet. And I was telling him, this is who, he's came on the show and all that. So it was great to hear it.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Sam was riled.
She was riled. Yes.
Nice, dude. Speaking of riled, Donna Barnaby says, good morning, Brian. Glad to have you. Have you seen your mother yet?
Not yet, but I mean, I literally got home last night at like 12:45. So it was a quick turnaround.
You didn't go over this morning for breakfast?
No time for breakfast this morning. But we'll see her soon and appreciate, as always, her tuning in. Yeah,
maybe breakfast, she'll make you eggs Benedict.
Yeah, eggs Benedict, Coast Toast.
Coast Toast, s'mores, dude. Riley Souza coming in, dude. Your future replacement with the Let's Go, dude.
Yeah, no, I saw Riley do a great job.
He really has done.
Yeah. I mean, we'll it seems like a great guy. We'll let the whole Red Sox thing go. Usually that's tough for me. That's usually like just a complete no-go from the start, but seems like a nice enough guy. So
he does seem nice.
We'll let it go.
Dude, he was talking Red Sox farm system yesterday.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be back here Friday.
Friday, dude.
Okay, yeah. So I'll save it for them, but I definitely have a couple things to say. That's for sure.
Lonnie confirming he means golf gear. Kev Deuce saying, Sunday. Does that mean he's going to make a physical appearance tonight?
I mean, that would be great. We would love to see. Oh, that is interesting, actually. Yeah, does that, because I feel like originally he had said no, or maybe he said I'll see. So maybe he isn't. I don't know. But maybe
obviously, I get it. Tony's not around. The whole company comes through the show. It's fine, guys. Whatever.
American Pie weekends.
Lonnie, barely talking Mets. Stop it, Double B. Dude, stop it.
Whatever Tony needs with the Mets, we get to it. Maybe we don't lead to it. Maybe we start with the Yankees. Maybe there's more talk about the Yankees, but it's never like Tony has a lot to say about the Mets, and then he's just completely shut down. Other than the one time at the Horseshoe, I'll give you that. He was ready for a full weekend recap, and we got off track. Whatever, my fault. I'll give you that, Yanni. But that's it.
and then with the Dread Sox, dude.
Yeah,
you guys.
He's right about Yanni.
May have to let it go for a little bit though.
Wait, what else did he say here?
The whole company, please. I wish
more like probably three of us.
Well, Lonnie, come on,
anybody we got, we appreciate that.
Yeah, dude,
that's great.
Just
that's
one
great.
Of you.
Exactly.
I mean, three is more than just Lonnie. The past couple times.
Exactly.
So it's
pumped,
much appreciated.
Pumped
guys.
To see everybody.
I'm pissed I'm not going to be there. Dude, I'm like kind of tight. I'm not going to be there.
Yeah,
honestly, dude.
Yeah, that is.
Horseshoe's always a great time.
Of course it is. And I actually, we were talking about my trip so much. I didn't get to ask you. How was the bachelor weekend
party for Andy, dude? Yeah. It was actually really, really nice, and it was funny because Jay has been planning both of these bachelor parties, back to backs, right? He's the best man for both of these.
Wow, back to back best man. That's a lot for Jay.
It really is.
It's a big responsibility.
And then on top of it, Jay's like he's moving back to Jersey and stuff like that. So a lot going on in Jay's life. So he was a little flustered for sure.
Yeah.
So trying to help out as much as possible. You're gonna like this, dude. Obviously Andy, as you may or may not know, big homebody, right? Mm-hmm. So, Jay found a nice giant house in the Catskill Mountains here in New York. 20 beds. I think there was, I don't know, maybe like 8 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. Dude, ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So there's 20 beds, about 18 of us booked the house. And then, we're up there. Obviously don't really know much about the area. So we figured let's just bring up a bunch of food, right? So we get 2. This is now Friday, right? So we did sports for that. We picked up the food. 2 4-foot sandwiches, the best edibles, You know, Best Edibles?
I've seen it. I've never.
Deli
never
by
had
Sacred
it.
Heart, famous, like great sandwiches. The Pioneer, one of their staple sandwiches, chicken cutlet, roasted red, lettuce, tomato, mozzarella,
No
prosciutto.
pun intended, or there is a pun intended there. The Pioneer.
No,
is it?
obviously, yes,
I
dude.
just wanted to make sure it's on it.
Pesto mayo, delicious. And
Love
then
it.
took a club. So those 2 4-foot sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Gaetano's in Stratford, 2 trays chicken parm, 2 trays of penne vodka, a salad, and like a veggie platter.
Unbelievable, of course.
Dude, so freaking good. So Jay killed it with that. Get to the house, absolutely ginormous. I was Jay and I'm the first one to get there for check-in. And it's literally like a big, like giant house on like a giant shared pond.
Okay.
So like you can imagine the back of the house is all glass, pretty big backyard overlooking the pond. You're surrounded by the mountains, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally stayed there. We brought like a bunch of supplies, beer, food, whatever. Also got a tray of sweet and spicy chicken and the buffalo chicken from Gaetano's.
Oh, now which one did you like better?
Oh, dude, I think the sweet chili.
Yeah,
sweet chili.
Yeah, I
dude.
started with the buffalo. I thought the buffalo was better,
Yeah.
but then switched to the sweet. Because I sent you the picture of that sandwich.
Yeah,
hot
dude.
peppers.
And honestly, I think the buffalo would be better if they didn't already put the blue cheese in there because I don't like blue cheese.
Oh,
So they hit the
okay.
blue cheese,
Okay.
but the sweet
Yep.
chili, freaking delicious. So we had 2 trays of that for lunch on Saturday.
Ridiculous.
Dude, housing it. And then Gaetano's also gave us a big bag of bread and rolls.
The bread, insane with the
Unbelievable
seeds, the
with the
sesame seeds.
Dude, yeah, the seeds, the semolina bread, dude. Oh, it's
Stop
so
it.
good. So freaking good. So the food was covered, obviously.
Yeah.
And we got like, chips, Oreos, Chips Ahoy, whatever. Dude, literally brought coolers of beer, dude. I think we must have drank like over 300 beers.
So there
like,
was
over 2
the
months.
drinking.
There was the drink because we're just all in the house.
Yeah.
The house had a basement, game room, billiards, darts, shuffleboard, air hockey, foosball, sauna. Played wiffle ball in the backyard.
Did you go in the sauna?
Went in the sauna,
Wow.
hot tub too.
Wow.
We were doing like it was getting crazy. Obviously,
Yeah.
You're playing a drinking game, hop in the sauna for 10 minutes, hop in the pond for a little bit, go back to the drinking games, dude. It's great time, dude.
Wow.
It was freaking yeah, dude. In between drinking.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely a kind of sobered you. And obviously in the morning too, you're sitting there, you're sweating. Like
Was there
you're like a
gallons
new
of
man,
water
dude.
available?
Everyone brought like a pack of water, 6-pack of Gatorade too.
Okay,
So that was
the
good.
hydration was good.
Yes, the hydration was still there, dude.
And it was just a Friday, Saturday, head back Sunday deal? Or?
Yes, Friday, Saturday, head back Sunday, and you're gonna like this, dude. Saturday morning,
Yep.
8 a.m. tea time. That was like a snap call decision, midnight the night before.
Wow.
Yeah. So like literally, we were like, because a couple guys couldn't golf on Sunday.
Yep.
So they were like, oh, let's try and get a tea time. Tea time, half hour away, different course from the one on Sunday. So got 18 in on Saturday morning, and then golfed again Sunday at noon.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
dude.
you've reached the career high in golf rounds already. Tony.
Absolutely, dude. So much fun. Reese got his first eagle, I think, on Saturday.
Eagle.
Yeah, dude. That was
Wow,
pretty
wow.
impressive. So it was good, dude.
Now, so 2 different courses both days.
Right.
How were they like, compared like to one another?
So the course from Saturday, actually, you're gonna like this a lot. So my buddy Pat booked the tea time
Yeah.
through Golf Now, I think it's called,
Yes.
right? So we get there, and it was definitely like, it's old course.
Uh-huh.
Like definitely not as, it wasn't really that fancy, but it was still nice because you still have the mountain range around you, whatever.
Yeah.
But we walk in and he goes, yeah, we have 8 o'clock tea time. And it was like a young girl at the
Yeah.
counter. She goes, oh, like we do tea times like that. And the older lady comes out of the office, like, we don't do tea times. Like, how did you, like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, you're on Golf Now. Like, and he paid for his already.
Okay.
So he was a little worried, but she was like, oh, all right, you guys.
Knew her, probably working there.
Yeah,
type
who
of deal.
knows?
Yeah.
I mean, she obviously didn't know it was there, but she was really like, oh, you guys, we don't do tea times, but you guys are more than welcome to golf or whatever. It was actually really funny. The cart, dude, that course was really small. It was predominantly par 3s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like a lot smaller than like Gaynor Brennan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Sunday, like I forget what it was called, Country Hill or Hillside Country Club, something like that.
Regulation?
Awesome, dude. Yes. Everything I think there was 1 par 3, everything else was par 4, par 5s.
Okay. Wow.
Huge course, really beautiful. The only thing though, it was 9 holes you played twice.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine by me.
Yeah. But it was in really good condition.
Dude, beautiful condition. Definitely we were more up in the mountains too.
Oh, okay. So you had some nice views.
Beautiful views, dude. I think I was showing Mike some pictures yesterday, but dude, it was sick. It was actually 1 par 3 too, where it was like a giant, like you're on top of a hill, perched up, and like there's a bunch
Huge
of water hills, huge drop, waterfalls, rivers around it.
Wow.
Dude, it was sick, dude.
How was your performance?
So, not great, honestly. The first day, we did mostly best balls because there was so many of us, just to keep it going.
Yep. But was it still foursomes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was still foursomes.
Right.
But obviously we always have to stay together,
Right.
Stuff like that. So I think I only kept track of my front 9 on Saturday. And I think it was like a 64 or something like that. 60 maybe. 62.
Some good shots mixed in though, or?
Yeah, there were some good shots, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I was hitting my 3-wood really well.
Really?
Like those were my best shots of the day. Like down
off
the pipe,
tee
dude,
or
off the tee.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was really cool. But I had a couple good chips, couple good putts. But I mean, it's definitely at this point, like I got to really work on the iron and the wedge game. The short game's got to like.
What about the putting?
Putting was decent, dude.
Yeah.
I made a couple good putts. If not, I was always a 2-putt. I didn't really mess it up that much, which is great. But it's just like there was times where it's like, like maybe 30 yards out, and I'm like, got like my 60-degree wedge or whatever, and I'm just like sailing it over the green.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm just hitting it too hard.
Yeah.
No, that's tough.
All it is just repetition. Because I've had that problem for so long. Like just always either over or on the back, or it lands just on the edge and then.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the worst, dude. And you see it kind of slow down, but then it just takes off and rolls out. And like,
but are you getting a like a big trajectory, like a lot of loft on it, or are you lining it?
Sometimes I line it, but most of the time there is that loft.
Okay, but it's just too much. Yeah, it's all
dude.
Distance control.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's so freaking tough. Dude.
It is. Wow. But obviously playing back-to-back days. I mean, have you ever played back-to-back days?
Never.
Wow. So that's it. On the course, a lot of drinking, or are you saved it for after?
No, yeah, there was drinking. Saturday morning, we had the beers in the cooler. Little tequila sunrise action as well,
and they didn't care, like the people working there, like bringing the cooler.
No, not the Saturday.
Oh, but that's okay. But what about the Sunday course? Or you kept it light because it's like
beers in the golf bag, but
in the bag,
in the golf bag. But Bloody Marys from the bar, on
the turn.
Yeah,
wow,
delicious Bloody Mary. But not, and you actually find this funny too. When we came back after the first 9, to get more drinks, I guess the guy wasn't there. And they're like, oh, yeah, he'll be back. Like, give him like 10, 15 minutes. Like, I called him. He's on his way. And like, people were like in the clubhouse to order food. Yeah. Like, no one was there. It's so funny, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sounds like a great weekend, though.
It really was, dude. And he had a great time, dude. Got some good footage, got some great laughs.
Nice.
Like I said, that's exactly what he loves to do, is just hang out in a house.
Yeah.
With all the boys.
And with the golf, I mean, you really can't beat it.
I know, dude. And we got more this weekend, dude.
Yeah. So is it 1 round, 2 rounds? What do we got for this weekend?
This weekend scheduled 1 round, Sunday, I think. It's either Sunday or Monday, because I know it's a little extended because of the Labor Day weekend. So yeah, dude. And
I know you told me this already, but where are you going again?
Seaside, Jersey.
Seaside in Jersey. Yeah, nice.
Sure, dude.
Do you know what course it is?
No idea.
Okay.
I have to talk to Jay.
Yeah. And how many people for this one?
I think it's same deal, maybe around like 15.
Oh, okay. So you got like 4 groups out.
I don't think everyone's golfing on this one.
Golfing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not everyone's golfing.
How did Jay do out in the course?
Dude, Jay hits the ball really well, actually.
Yeah.
He definitely like he goes about it like he's just smooth.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a smooth swing. He doesn't try to crank it or anything. He's not
swinging out of his shoes.
Yeah,
he's like the opposite swing of me.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
So he's got like a good stroke. But definitely, accuracy wise can work on some things too. Sometimes, every so often you get like the big slice, but he does hit the ball well. Yeah. Reese is definitely, out of all of us, it's like Reese and Andy are the best.
Okay.
They've kept golfing their whole life.
Did they like keep track themselves, like in terms of like a score out there, or no?
Amongst themselves, I think so, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But Andy definitely he cranks it off the tee.
Yeah.
And then Reese is great with his iron work and wedge work.
Okay.
Like he's got some nice pops right on the green. And it's just right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great that you get to get back out there again, this weekend. How are you handling, the big weekend coming back? I heard yesterday people were concerned you don't look good. Like,
I know. I think that's kind of a bunch of hoopla. I thought I looked fine, honestly. I definitely feel great. Monday was a little, because we got back at 10 o'clock at night on Sunday.
Okay.
Because by the time we golfed, we stopped for dinner.
Right.
We get back, 2.5 hour drive. But no, I feel great. Again, I think there was a good, obviously hydrated so much, leading up to the weekend.
Right.
And then it's like at night before bed, you just like slam a Gatorade, have a water next to your bed, and you're good to go. Dude.
And was everybody on board with that? Like, was everybody hydrating, or
some people were not, dude. Some people
then
like
struggling.
Yeah. So like night 1, Jay conked out early.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Night 2, there was a couple kids from Andy's hometown.
Yeah,
conked out early. You know, dude, because it is tough, dude. You know.
Yeah.
Like there really wasn't a lot of sleep had. But I will say, I mean, another saving grace was just to be well fed the whole time. Dude.
Well fed and well hydrated.
Dude. Well fed, well hydrated. You need that.
But people, they just overlook it.
People think, oh, like I'd rather not eat so I get drunk quicker. But it's like, dude, like, it's not like we're here for a whole weekend.
No, you know what's funny?
You know?
My boy Mark, he always would say, "Oh yeah, no, I don't need dinner. I'll just fill up on beer."
Liquid diet.
It's like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah,
hell, that's
great, dude. Yeah, try to do that for 72 hours.
Oh man, that's great. That is great. So part 2 of the American Pie weekend. I can't wait to hear it. So are you heading out early Friday? Or what's
dude, I gotta figure out what time Friday. I mean, it takes like 4 hours to get there.
4 hours
on
really?
its own, yeah, because it's like, I mean,
okay.
Think about it. I mean, it is like
it's almost the AC.
It's like, it's like 2 hours from Staten Island, which is 2 hours from here. So I'm anticipating around 4 hours
with traffic.
I mean, we're talking the Friday of Labor Day weekend, so
it's gonna be intense.
It's gonna be pretty intense going down to the Jersey Shore. So I don't know. I gotta be check-ins at 5. I'm driving solo now because Jay's gonna be back in Jersey already.
Oh, okay.
Jay's gonna be in Jersey for Thursday. I think he got a fantasy football draft on Thursday with the boys from home. So he's gonna be in Jersey on Thursday. It's kind of funny because it seems like Jay almost like made it at Seaside because he knew he was gonna be in Jersey.
How close is it for him? Do you know?
It's probably like I would say an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, okay. So
I would say
half.
Yeah, it gets cut in half for sure.
Yeah.
Which is great for him, dude.
Any chance AC gets in the mix over the weekend?
I don't know, man. Seaside has got to be close to 45 to an
45,
hour. 45,
the drinking.
Dude. Yeah. That would be a tough get.
Yeah. Would be sick though.
It would be sick. I don't think Coin's not really a huge gambler though.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't think that'd be. I think it's just beach bar. You know, Jersey Shore. Dude.
Do you know how close the beach is to where you're staying? Is it like right there? Or?
I think it's like a 10-minute walk.
Oh, nice.
I think so.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know about you. Like me and Sam were talking about this on our trip. It's like, I feel like, you know, you go into the summer, you're pumped, like, oh, the beach. But then like, I feel like I barely go. Like on the trip, I went probably triple the amount that I went all summer.
Yeah.
Like, have you been that much this summer?
The beach, like literally once.
Yeah. And like going into it, were you anticipating that you were going to go more or no? Or do you not like it that much?
I mean, I enjoy the right beach, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, no offense to Fairfield or anything, but like going to Jennings Beach, I suppose, is all right. But I want to go to like Wildwood or Seaside, where it's like beach and a boardwalk. Like you have like, time.
The boardwalk is sick.
Boardwalk is awesome, dude. Whereas I can just go walk, get an ice cream, come back or something. You know? I need something near the beach to be like, I'm hyped up for it. But yeah, I guess I kind of thought we would have more of like a Jennings Beach day or something like that. You know, I like that.
What was the home beach in Staten Island that you would go to?
I mean, there's South Beach on Staten Island, but you really don't like go to the beaches that much.
Jones Beach, or is that a hike or
Long Island?
Far or no?
Probably talking like an hour and 20.
Oh, okay, so you wouldn't really go there that much.
Went to Coney Island a lot,
but we talked about Coney. Yeah. So not a great beach area.
No. You know, if I was growing up vacationing wise to a beach, Long Beach Island, my mom's cousin.
I've never been there. I heard it's like great though.
Yeah, it really is.
Because that's where you go.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, like growing up, was that your main beach or no? Was there like somewhere closer that you would go to?
Oh, like for our weekend trips?
Like, or just like or just you go for a day or something like.
Day trips. Really, like a lot of them. Belmar, Point Pleasant, Asbury. Because they're all right there. So.
But would you say Long Beach Island your favorite or no?
Yes.
By far.
Oh, my favorite beach over any beach I've ever been to. And that's including like Mexico Beach.
Wow.
Bermuda.
Wow.
Everything.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to think in Jersey. Yeah, I think I've only been to the beach at Atlantic City, honestly. So
really,
definitely want to check out LBI.
That beach is all right.
Atlantic City next Sunday.
Really?
Wait, really?
For my brother, there's a.
Oh, the Iron Man.
Oh, the Iron Man. Wow. That's sick. And it's interesting because, like, you know the connotation with Atlantic City and stuff, but I had to say, beach a lot better than like you would think.
Yeah.
Honestly, because last time I was there, went in for a dip both days. Like, it really wasn't bad. And I like that they have the beach bar for, I think, Land Shark Bar and Grill.
Love that spot,
But
dude.
the down below beach bar,
Yeah,
like, it's sick.
It really is sick. The
Yeah.
tiki bar, dude.
Yeah. And I love when it's like really hot and you could just go swimming and then you don't even need a towel. Like,
Yeah.
you just dry off, just,
air
like,
dry.
walking around.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome. So all good stuff here. And then a couple comments here.
Yes, we do. Alani says strength in numbers with the jacked arm. That's definitely not his. Kev do Sleeside, New Jersey. You know, I've heard. I mean, I know I got. I used to go there when I was a kid. Got kind of like, the vagabonds. The undesirables. Got kind of sleazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear it's a little better now. I hear it's a little bit more built up.
Okay.
And then Lonnie says Long Beach on Long Island is nice as well. Long Island does have some great beaches. I've been to, like, I guess maybe a Hampton beach.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. But again, those are more like, those are beaches for the residents,
I got you just want a boardwalk, a bar, a good restaurant.
A good restaurant. Like, I don't want to have to, like,
drive 20 minutes.
Park on a side street, walk for another 10 minutes,
sober up,
have to worry, I have to pack all this stuff.
Right, lugging it. Parking is a problem.
Oh my God, dude. I hate, like, I don't hate, but I just find it so funny when I see the families going to the beach and the dad's just like at the little push thing. He's carrying
brutal
pool noodles, the more chairs, dude, the cooler, and the mother's got the stroller with the kids. I'm just thinking, like, well, that's got to be such a freaking, especially like Wildwood beaches too. I feel like if you go to the beach in Wildwood, like until you get to the water, I mean, it's like probably like, I don't know, 100 yards.
No, in Myrtle Beach, we used to have to do that. And
yeah.
It was like, me and my dad doing the heavy lifting. And it's like lounge chairs. We used to bring full-size lounge chairs, multiple coolers. Brutal. I used to be like, why can't we just like bring nothing?
Yeah. No. Like get one of those chairs that could be a backpack. Okay. Put a few things in the pockets and you just walk right on, dude.
Crazy. It looks like Yanni's a little tight, huh?
Yeah. Yanni says, wow, Tony, you know what? Screw off, dude. I don't know, man. I think that's kind of tough, dude. I don't know.
Long Beach, you had to pay for.
Josh says on Long Island, haha. And he goes like $15 just to touch the sand. You want to talk crazy?
$60 park in Coronado. You want to talk crazy,
dude? Fairfield, $50 for Jennings.
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
Yeah, no, it's like that at Campo in Westport too.
Oh my God, dude!
No, but the best
Campo
part,
Beach is like that too.
Yes,
oh.
for out of town. But the best part, so we did that at Coronado, and then the next time, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to look for some street parking. Found it whole day. No time restrictions. Felt like an idiot the day before. $60 to be there for 4 hours. Are you kidding? Like the prices, dude.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, so much to discuss here in the world of sports. So let's get to it now. The first thing I wanted to touch on, golf. I know you had covered on Monday, Hovland's winning the tour championship.
So huge.
That was impressive. And it really, I think puts to rest, Tony, the whole discussion about the staggered star, like the guys being at the disadvantage. I mean, how far back he came from, how far back Scotty Scheffler finished, how Morikawa had that great day one. Like, it almost doesn't even matter. Like, if it's your tournament, it's your tournament. It seems like.
No, yeah, literally. And I think that that goes to say for a lot of things. And Riley and I were talking about it. It's like, I mean, the level of competition is still so high.
Right.
And it's just like a sport that's so hard to remain consistent. Like, there's just no again, as long as it's close, it's always a good time to watch because there's always someone who you just don't think of that's within the top 5 and they're running to win a tournament, you know, and then you see this all of a sudden Hovland gets hot, wins back-to-back tournaments, wins the cup here. Like, that's sick. That's a tremendous story for him. Wait, 26, right? I think.
Yeah.
Amazing, dude.
He'll be in the Ryder Cup, for the European side. Do you think I know it's so hard to say, Tony, but do you think this really sets him up for at least one major next year?
It's gotta.
Again, I mean, it's the trajectory.
Yeah,
right?
The trajectory. It's again he's been improving. I think we talked about it before. I mean, he's improved a lot within his game. iron work from the fairway. His putting is a lot better throughout the course of the season. Like, it just seems like you say his trajectory is going to keep going up. And I mean, a major seems certainly within his sights here.
And speaking of trajectory, any concern? I mean, obviously it was a while ago, but Scotty Scheffler, won in Phoenix and won the Players, but didn't win anything since. And I don't know, a lot of runner-ups and not finishing in the fourth round. Any concern there going into next season?
I think he's someone who can get over that hump. I think. Given maybe a little bit of an off season, a little bit of rest, a little bit of work. I think he's someone who he seems to be someone who's right there, where I guess if we've seen like McIlroy really choke and have a tough time overcoming that hump, I feel like Scheffler has got the ability to just come back.
And he'll get that opportunity at the Ryder Cup next month.
Let's go
in Rome. And they did announce the captain's picks yesterday. So you got Sam Burns, Ricky Fowler, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Jordan Spieth, and the controversial pick of Justin Thomas, who missed the cut at 3 of the 4 majors, really had probably the worst season of his career. Typically, whether it's a President's Cup or Ryder Cup, when they do like the alternate shot, he's always teamed up with Jordan Spieth. They have a good track record together. But that was very controversial. Some people said, JT's all in. And even Captain Zach Johnson said, you can't leave him at home. But, there were some guys that you felt really deserved it over him based on how they played this year. I mean, you think about even recently, Lucas Glover winning those back-to-back tournaments before Hovland, and then Keegan Bradley, who I saw win at the Travelers. What did you think about Thomas making the team, and does it call into question that this Ryder Cup, it's not about the best golfers. It's, people are calling it a boys club. People are calling it a popularity contest. What did you make of that?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough now. You talk about it being like a boys club and stuff like that. I mean, I do think, Zach Johnson, I mean, they are his picks, right? Like, he's the captain. That's the whole point. Like, he can pick whoever he wants. I would imagine there is some consulting with the rest of the team, though. No, right? I mean, if I'm the captain of a team, especially in a sport like golf that is so much about your mental game, about staying positive, about feeling comfortable to do your best. Maybe having your buds on the team is going to create that environment and will give you the ability to win. Because as we've seen, we just talked about in these golf tournaments, it could be anyone's day at any point. And I know the track record is not great. But again, I mean, if he's going to add that something to the team in that case, I mean, I would say it's totally fine, right?
Yeah, but I mean, especially if he doesn't play well, they lose to Europe. I mean, Zach Johnson's going to be getting a lot of heat.
He's going to get a total a-hole, that's for sure. Yeah.
And then also people were saying, and it was, just because the whole live situation, like, oh, I don't know if he's going to take Koepka, but it kind of felt like he had to, just the fact that he was runner-up at the Masters, won the PGA, and then it was like, okay, well, they can't say he completely, disowned the live golfers. But then, you got guys like Bryson DeChambeau and Dustin Johnson who have great track records, in these type of events. So people were kind of saying, like, if you're really, quoting the great Brian Cashman, in it to win it, wouldn't those guys get the nod? I mean, what do you think about DJ and DeChambeau being left off?
I mean, yeah, it sucks because you on paper they're better golfers,
right?
But again, like, maybe, I mean, I don't know if those guys don't, like, there has to be there's a reason why,
Well, Zach Johnson's saying the reason is that he hasn't got to see much of them play.
Well, it's kind of a bad reason.
Yeah, like, I don't
know.
You
can't like look it up. Like, you can't just watch them play and like see what they can do, and or at least like ask the rest of your team. I mean, you got obviously those automatic qualifiers here, like, some consulting.
And I know, there's some name bias to this. And listen, the automatic qualifiers are the automatic qualifiers. You can't do anything about that. But you can't tell me that DJ and Bryson DeChambeau at the end of the day aren't better golfers than Wyndham Clark and Brian Harmon, who automatically qualified.
Why do they automatically qualify?
Just based on, there's a point system in terms of how you play during the season, and they don't count live events, so the live golfers only get points for majors. But since Brooks performed so well, won one of the tournaments, that's why he almost automatically qualified.
Interesting. Well, I mean, there's nothing really new about the live golfers, but what like those points during the season, is that just like percentage of like
it just if you finish higher, you get more points. Like I don't know structure is. Yeah.
So it's just about overall like where you've been placing in the tournaments to the season. So it's a legitimate way to qualify, basically. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like it almost measures consistency.
Right.
All right, that's fine. And then Zach Johnson becomes captain. How so?
Just selected by like the U.S.
committee?
Golf body. Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
And I guess he doesn't play. I think I could be wrong about that, but I think he just kind of assembles the team.
I mean, it kind of sounds like, other than the qualifiers, how the captain is chosen and how the captain's picks are chosen is really like a bunch of nepotism.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, if that comes back to bite. But nevertheless, I mean, you have Scotty Scheffler. You have Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, Max Homa. We know those guys are talented. So I mean, I think there is enough talent to win there. We'll see what the finalized European roster is. The 6 automatic qualifiers for the European team will be finalized following the conclusion of the Omega European Masters on September 3rd. Luke Donald, the European captain, will announce his 6 captains picks on September 4th. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you would imagine, especially because we're saying that live golfers on the European side aren't eligible. So, I mean, obviously Rahm, McIlroy, Hovland, and Hatton, those are pretty good. But in the past, like Sergio has been a big part, Ian Poulter's been a big part. But we won't see those guys. So you'll have younger guys get an opportunity. So I think it'll be compelling.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, the qualifiers already too for Europe, pretty sweet.
Yeah.
John Rahm, Rory, Victor Hovland. I don't know, Tyrell Hatton got in there.
Your guy.
I guess so, dude. I think they're waiting 2 more after this weekend's tournament or something.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
That's cool, dude.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll talk about, once those selections, are made. But the Ryder Cup around the corner next month in Rome.
The 14th?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's the 14th.
It's sick, dude.
But let's go now to the world of the National Football League.
6 for 101, 2 touchdowns. To Evans, touchdown, Tampa Bay.
How about that throw?
Sam Darnold blasted. Oh my goodness, did he take a hit? In trouble once, brings him down. Lost one for Odell Beckham Jr. Got it down, touchdown.
All right. So just a couple quick, football things I wanted to talk about. And what was propelled, and obviously, we had the final week of the preseason this past weekend. We saw the Jets defeat the Giants, something, I was happy to see for sure. And actually, get to Josh B there. I just want to get that comment up there. Ryder Cup has so much more pizzazz around it compared to any other golf tournament.
What do you think about that?
I love it. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be compelling. But the only thing I would say is, I mean, right here, Tony. I mean, that's all. The Augusta National logo. And I get it because it's different. There's more of a loud atmosphere, like you would see it almost at like a football game. But if you want to say it's in the conversation, but for me personally, and I don't know about you, and I know you probably haven't really watched one of these before. I'm not gonna go to the lengths to say that it's at least better. Maybe it's around equal, but better than a major championship.
Wow. I mean, there definitely seems to be more of a more juice around the fact that it's just a different format.
Right.
That in and of itself,
right,
seems to cause a lot of buzz.
Yeah. So I think it's just that it's something different. So I get it, from that perspective.
Or pizzazz, as Josh says.
Pizzazz. So we saw Rodgers get in the game. For those first couple series, the crowd was great. So you love to see that. in anticipation of that September 11th Monday Night Football game against the Bills. We're all excited about that. So love seeing that connection out there. And I didn't get a chance to talk to Jay about this. And I know he's always been a big, Michael Carter guy, but the Jets, deciding to go with the 4 running backs, obviously Brees, Dalvin, they go with the 5th round rookie Izzy, and then they go with Michael Carter over Bam Knight. Did he mention anything about that to you, about how Knight got cut? I know he's always been a Carter guy, but that was something that, I don't know. I just didn't agree with. I thought Knight had more of an impressive season last year than Michael Carter.
Yeah. He did mention it on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I remember what he said, but wasn't one of them were injured? No,
yeah, Izzy, but I guess he's going to be okay and be back soon, if not for the opener, in the next couple games. And obviously for running backs, they don't all have to be active. So I think that's the thought process there. Plus, you invest draft capital. You don't want to just let them go. But I thought they could have traded Bam Knight if they were going to. Plus, I mean, from watching Hard Knocks, it does seem like Michael Carter's a personality. Maybe that's part of it in terms of, he has a big place in the locker room. But I don't know. Dude. I guess you do have to keep in mind team chemistry, but
you really do.
It's tough not to see a guy and feel like he's more talented, but that's just kind of, my 2 cents there. So that was a little surprising. But what I really, why I wanted to talk about football for a second is I was telling you this before. I was texting Lonnie earlier. I was listening to Dave today. He's solo. Rick's still on vacation. Do we know where Rick is? Where he went on vacation?
No, don't know where.
And has he been gone for like 2 weeks, or he just was in last week and then they swept?
Yeah, they were in last. Well, he was just in. Dave was out.
Right.
But then I think 2 weeks ago they were both out.
Okay.
So it seemed like they were been kind of like they took 1 week off together, and then 1 week
right
off
before
solo,
football
like
season.
Yeah, definitely. Using the vacation days, dude.
Right. And I just feel like, and I get it. And I know Michael, always makes a comparison to me with Dave, and you're slanted towards your teams. Like that happens. And I understand it to an extent, but I just thought Dave this morning, like just off the rocker. He was talking about the Jets and just, and I think part of it's obviously, there's more exposure from Hard Knocks, of course. But he was just saying that he thought it was ridiculous that fans and the team themselves, he mentioned how Rodgers, when he first came to the Jets, said that Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi trophy from Super Bowl III, looked a little lonely.
Dude, people were getting out of hand too, calling in. I don't know if you heard, but I remember when Dave said that, dude, some guy called in like, what is Rodgers, like, ridiculous? Like, he's only got 1 Super Bowl win. Like, I can't believe you come in here and say that about the Jets. Like, it's not a joke. Like, what has he ever accomplished? He just got 1, yada, yada. And it's like, dude, first of all, 1 for an individual versus 1 for an organization is, incredibly different.
Right.
Not to mention, all he's saying is that, he's here to win.
Right. Oh, no, that's such a terrible thing.
Right? Like, what?
And that kind of segues to what I was going to say. And Dave's saying it's ridiculous that the players and the fans have the mindset that it's Super Bowl or bust. But it's like the guy's 39 years old. What is this? His 19th, 20th year, whatever it is. It's like, what did he come here to win a wild card game? Like, of course it's Super Bowl or bust. And the fact that Dave is questioning that, I don't know. I mean, sometimes sure you kind of say stuff for conversation to get a rise, but usually Dave's not like that. But he not only said that, but then he said he wouldn't be surprised if the Jags or the Steelers had a better season than the Jets. And to me, and you could tell me that I'm wrong, Tony, but it's just like that almost just comes off as a little bitter. We know obviously Dave's, fandom of the Giants and obviously all the attention the Jets have had, where not too much conversation about the Giants, but I mean, are those not ridiculous statements? Like, I can't believe, is he smoking the Buffer hashish? Like, I can't believe you would say that.
Yeah, I don't know. It does seem there's some type of partisan, some bias there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think that's a little ridiculous. Jaguars, maybe you could argue, but I mean,
they
but
blew
still,
a
like
30-point lead in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wild card game. Their quarterback's in his third year. He's had one good season, and we're gonna say that he's more likely to have a better year than
Aaron
the
Rodgers?
Jets,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
loaded up. Like, what? What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough take, dude. I don't know.
The
Again,
Steelers,
it's
Steelers
gotta
might
be
not even
Steelers
finish
ridiculous,
500.
dude. Yeah, I mean, I get maybe that they're always somewhat competitive, but come on, dude. They're
Yeah.
they're a shell of what they've been in over the last decade, easily. You know.
And then he was like kind of like trying to justify it, saying that, oh, well, down the stretch they collapsed, and I'm just like, well, this is a different team. You had a quarterback who was not capable last year, and you've added Dalvin Cook, you've added Alan Lazard, and you have Aaron friggin' Rodgers. Not to mention you've improved a defense that was already great to begin with. I don't know. I was a little taken back by that. And do you think that it's a combination of, like what you said, a little giant bitterness, but then also an effort to get the conversation going?
Yeah, I think so. I could see that, and I mean, you know, I guess, I mean, he made one good point maybe with that, where he's questioning, Saleh and his ability to coach and lead a team to a championship, which I seen, that's something that's certainly not been proven yet.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, I think, we're talking, Dave, I guess, just try to move the conversation along. I mean, he was doing a solo show, right?
Right. Solo
so it's
show.
Like,
But also, about the coach, but it's like, I feel like, you split up the duties. I mean, I don't see how it's gonna be a problem. Nathaniel Hackett, I mean, is arguably Aaron Rodgers' favorite coach of all time.
Yeah.
He's calling the plays. And then Robert Saleh, all he needs to do is focus on the defense. We know how good he is at calling defensive plays. We saw all the success he had with the 49ers, how good this defense was last year. I don't think there's really any reason to question the coaching.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. And I mean, again, like, all things point to an upward trajectory. Like, all things have been getting better. Seems like that, everyone's on the same page. Again, watching Hard Knocks, I mean, sometimes Saleh seems, a little bit much, but other than that, I mean, I think all the players respect him, certainly, and they're all here under one roof going towards one main goal here. So it's not like they're not buying into it. They're buying into it.
Right, and he's a player's coach, but he's not Aaron Boone. Like, you know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. He knows the game.
What's the deal with Boone's brother, dude? What is
Brett Boone?
Yeah.
I don't why what
I think he was like interviewed.
Yeah, he just
like
seemed
the
off.
other day. Well, he was talking about, like, they asked about his brother getting fired from the Yankees.
And what was he saying?
He was like, oh, well, take him being my brother aside, I think he's a great manager. He's gonna be sticking around for a few more years at least. Like, they're not gonna fire him. And it's like, what?
Says the guy who, back in the 10-out structure, whiffed on a couple pitches and hit no home runs in the home run derby.
Oh boy.
Back in the day. Yeah, I think that just, that's just a bunch of nonsense. But I think the thing is here, I think the Jets really have all their ducks in a row. I honestly, I don't know. I think also, too, one other thing that's been mentioned a lot, the offensive line.
Yeah.
I don't really see the concern there. I mean, Dwayne Brown, I understand he's older, but he's a true professional. He's been an all-pro before. I think he's going to be fine on the left side. Whether we have concerns about Becton or not, the truth of the matter is he had an outstanding preseason. He looks like he's in shape. He looks like he's motivated. So there's no concern there. And then you got Elijah Vera Tucker, who's arguably, one of the best guards in the whole league. So, maybe you want to say they're not going to be a top 5, maybe more towards the top 10 to top 12 offensive line. But as long as they're not a bottom 5 offensive line, are they not going to be fine, Tony? Like,
no, they would be, you would think,
we got a couple comments here.
Yes, we do, dude. We got one from Danny V. Let's go. He says,
let's go.
What's up, fellas? Hashtag the company is in the building. Let's go, G-Men, he says.
Always good to hear from Danny V.
Yes, dude. Always good. And then we have Josh B coming in saying, Saleh still has a lot to learn about managing a game. Timeout usage, I think it was a game right against the Lions. We kind of flubbed his usage of the timeouts last season. When the heat is on, what does he do? Has not fully proven he can manage a game yet.
Josh B, I'm telling you, we're going to see Robert Saleh take a massive leap in the coaching ranks this year.
No,
That's what comes to with a Super Bowl victory, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, the coach lifts up his players. Sometimes the players lift up the coach. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think the sum of the parts, Tony, is outstanding. I think that's the message.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Hard Knocks last night?
No.
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 Oh, okay. Wow. Tight. Like, is you not enjoyed that much or what?
No, I do enjoy very much, but
Late night or early night. Didn't want to make it a late night.
yes,
Gotcha.
exactly that.
Gotcha. And then Josh V saying, God, I hope you're right.
God. Don't we all do?
It was funny. You'd crack up about this when I was on vacation. You know, the time difference, like adjusting. You know, we're back in the room, and in West Coast time, you know, it's only like 9 o'clock, but like I'm kind of fading. You know, obviously that's like 12 Eastern.
Right.
And it took me 3 nights to be able to get through the Hard Knocks episode because I would start watching it and start dozing off. But
oh my God.
I really enjoyed the 3rd episode, and I'm guessing the one that just came out last night is the last one since the preseason's over.
Yes, you would think so, right?
Yeah, okay, so yeah, maybe I'll be able to watch that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've thoroughly enjoyed that for sure. But yeah, I'm pumped for football. I think you're more pumped than you've ever been, or no?
Yeah. At least than what I can remember.
What you can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so I guess it's September 7th is the opening
that Thursday
game. So previews around the corner. So we'll kind of talk more in depth about divisions, teams, and stuff. I'm just out of curiosity. I commented the other day, and maybe I'm being a little much, but I was saying, I think Giants taking a step back, maybe 6-11. Jones got the contract now. What's it going to look like? We know the pressure after having a surprisingly good season, winning a playoff game, following that up next year is tough, especially when you don't have a quarterback who arguably isn't even in the top half of starting quarterbacks in the league. Just like off the top of your head, when you think about the Giants this year in terms of wins and losses, playoffs or not, like what are you kind of thinking at this point?
For the Giants specifically?
Yeah.
I don't. Oh,
come on, Tony!
Dude, right on the cut, dude. All right, give me a second.
Yeah. No, we'll let Tony, change the battery pack. And I guess my angle here is, listen, I mean, there's definitely talent on the Giants. Nobody's gonna argue that. And of course, Brian Daboll, really left his mark on the team last year after you had a bunch of incompetent, head coaches, for sure. But like I said, I just think following that up is tough. I don't think they did enough at the wide receiver position. I understand, Jones is peppering Waller with targets. You hear about that all preseason, the connection, Waller. And let's be real. I mean, he hasn't been healthy in 3 years, so that's a question mark. If he is healthy, I think he's going to be great. But I just think, in the passing game, serious targets where you're drawing attention to the defense, you got to have more than the tight end and Saquon. I just feel like you need more at the wide receiver position. So that's just one thing that concerns me. So that's why, maybe 6-11 is a stretch, but could I see 7-10, 8-9? I don't think that's really that out of the realm of the possibility. Because I think, the opponents will be kind of more looking out for the Giants. There's a full season of tape of how Brian Daboll runs an offense, runs a team. So I think that's going to be interesting. That's why I kind of have them kind of having a mediocre season. And I was asking you before you had to change the battery pack. What are you thinking, Tony?
So I think they're actually gonna, be better than last season, to be honest.
Okay, so I think what was it 10-7 last year?
10-7,
or did they have a tie? So they were 9-7-1. I think it was 9-7-1. I'm almost positive. Obviously won that playoff game against Kirk Cousins.
Probably New York Giants.
9-7-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that the game against the Vikings, I think it was huge for them. I understand the Vikings were a team where people really doubted all season, but in reality, I mean, what did the Vikings? Did the Vikings win 14 games?
I want to say the Vikings won 13 games last year.
Regardless, they really did have a good regular season. They were a team going into the playoffs that, maybe we're like, oh, this could be a spot for underdog, but in reality, I mean, still a good team. One of the best receivers in the game, stuff like that, whatever. And I just think that, you may think like Daniel Jones signed a big contract, fat and happy, complacent. Josh had mentioned yesterday on the show too that it is an easy contract to get out of. If the Giants, thought that would be their move. So it's not like the pressure isn't still on Daniel Jones. Not to mention, I mean, like you beat the Vikings last season, you make it through, I guess deeper than you have been into the playoffs. I mean, the expectations are still high for you. Not to mention, I know I could agree with they didn't do enough in the wide receiver position. but they certainly improved. You'd imagine they're going to do better than what they did last season. And yesterday I highlighted this guy Sills. I don't know if you recognized his name from the preseason game against the Jets.
No, I'm not familiar with him.
I think it's his third year in the league, has been with the Giants for 2 other years prior to. I'm not sure his stats at all, but damn, who's the backup that was playing for
The
the
quarterback?
Giants? The quarterback.
Tyrod Taylor.
No.
Oh, the other one.
other guy.
I forgot who it is.
He's got a funny name.
Vikings 13-4 last year.
Nice. He's got a funny name. I forget what. It doesn't matter though.
Yeah.
But he was just absolutely like Sills, I think, led the game in receptions, receiving yards, had a touchdown. Like, he was looking really good. So, I mean, I think there are more targets for Daniel Jones. Of course, obviously running back is always going to be a question in terms of health and stuff like that. But I just think Jones is going to have, a career year for himself, honestly.
No, one thing too that you're just maybe playing a little devil's advocate, but obviously you won that playoff game on the road. I understand that, but Kirk Cousins, obviously he's not, a playoff savant, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
So you win by 7 on the road, but then, you go to Philadelphia, you get blown out 38-7.
Right.
I mean,
everyone knew that was coming though.
But I mean, 38-7, and those are the type of teams, if you want to take the next step,
right,
you're going to have to beat. So, I just think it's a lot pinning on 3 specific things. Jones taking a step forward where, there was a lot of questions about Jones going into last year. Now he has the contract, who knows what's going to happen there. Saquon, half of his career has been injured, half he hasn't. So is he going to stay healthy? And then you're pinging on Darren Waller, who's 31 years old, who's shown that, that he's had problems staying healthy. So I just think it's tough to be certain to say that they're going to take a step forward. I think there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Josh does as well here. Saying I had this conversation with another company member yesterday who's a Giants fan and is dead set on the Giants having no issues with their receiving core. But I agree with you, B.
That sounds like me saying the Yankees don't have any issues,
Yeah,
receiver car,
yeah.
confident. Jones definitely needs to have a career year. If he's not second to fourth best quarterback in the NFC, Giants have issues. And I don't know if he's second to fourth best in the NFC, Tony.
I know the NFC is kind of tough in terms of quarterbacks, I feel.
I kind of want to just kind of look at this real quick.
Quarterback list, the NFC?
Yeah, I kind of know just looking at the standings here. So I think Dak is better, honestly. I know, last year, but I just think overall, Dak's a better quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback. And then I would say, I think that, just looking here, Stafford's a better quarterback. Geno Smith had a better year last year. As ridiculous as that sounds, he did. And then it's like, how much better is he even than Derek Carr, who's the Saints quarterback? He's looked good in the preseason. Yes, he's better than Sam Howell because Sam Howell doesn't have a track record yet. He's better than Jordan Love because he doesn't have a track record yet. And tell me I'm crazy, but I was impressed with what Jared Goff did last year for the Lions. There's a lot of hype there. I would rather have Goff than Daniel Jones. Honestly.
Yeah, I think Goff. It's tough, dude. Goff definitely had a huge year for the Lions for sure, especially coming away from the Rams. It looked like his career was almost over.
Right.
So.
Right.
It is tough, but again, I think if Jones takes that step up, though, where like if he does take that step up, like where do you think he lands? You think he's in top 5?
Yeah. And it's crazy, but like it'll have to be a pretty sizable step. He only threw 15 touchdowns last year, but the NFC is as wide open and as weak, Tony, as I've ever seen it. And maybe that's because, you've had some big deflections, the last couple of years or defections, in terms of like Rodgers leaving, Russell Wilson leaving, Tom Brady leaving, and obviously going back a couple of years here, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Kyler Murray going to miss most of or all of the year. It seems like, so it is like, you look at this list of teams and it's like, you feel like Philadelphia is the best. But it's like that second tier or just the teams right below them. I mean, who is it? I mean, a lot rides on Brock Purdy, who was, Mr. Irrelevant, had a great year, but then he had that elbow injury. How's he going to rebound? Can Geno follow up what he did last year? Is Justin Fields going to take a step forward? I think it's going to be a lot different feel this year. Will Derek Carr perform well now that he's with the Saints and he has a defense and, he has a competent offensive coordinator? What's Baker going to do with the Bucs? I mean, you would think it wouldn't be good, but he does have like the most talent around him at receiver with Evans and Godwin that he's had his entire career. I mean, there's just so many question marks in the NFC.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree. It's wide open. If you had to think, who do you think is the top team?
So I want to say, right now, I guess it's the Eagles, but I think that the Niners and the Cowboys are right there, have a chance to overtake them. And I also think there's a lot of hype about the Lions.
Yeah, I think so too.
That would be something. It would not shock me if the Lions ended up in the NFC Championship game.
What about biggest disappointed team?
Biggest disappointment, hard not to say the Giants. I just think everybody's right. I get it. You have a playoff season. You win a playoff game. The fans are going to be hyped. Any fan base, no matter what sport, what team we're talking about, they're going to be hyped. But I just think, let's just take it easy, game by game, see what happens. A lot of comments to catch up on here.
Oh, yes, do we have Michael in the house, baby.
Michael.
Jets, Super Bowl champs. Any other thoughts are from a hater. Barnes the GOAT is back as is well now. All is well now in the world. Finally, the sports world's real messiah has returned.
Wow. Bold statements from
dude,
Michael.
that is bold,
but we know he's the best in the business.
Josh B says Geno has DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Goff has St. Brown. In terms of like having, receivers to go to.
Right.
And then Josh says exactly. That's what I said. What I said about Jones. And then Danny V upset saying, damn, the hate. Come on, guys. Have some faith in the G-men.
I mean, I guess it's, you got to show it. And we'll all, the whole nation will have an opportunity to watch Sunday Night Football, Giants, Cowboys. I mean, that it's right there for you.
Yeah.
If you want to set the tone for the season. Obviously, it's not all about week one. We've seen teams have poor week ones and then bounce back, but that's where you got to start. I think I could see the Giants having some trouble in that opening game. I mean, the Dallas defense, we know about Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs and Dexter Lawrence. I think it's a tough task here.
Yeah. Couple more comments here.
Learn how to read, Tony.
Learn how to read, Tony.
Staten Island private schools clearly didn't do it, huh?
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Just because I almost stumbled in all is well now in the world. Well, you know what? Honestly, that sentence is wrong, grammatically incorrect, actually, Michael, because it should be now, comma, all is well in the world, not all is well now in the world. So you, sir, are incorrect, and that's why I stumbled.
There we go.
Suck it, Michael.
But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Too deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. Danny V. Also, what else? What do we got here?
It's football season, he says.
Let's go!
Good luck to the Jets. The fans definitely deserve a good season while this show is giving English lessons. Oh, I love it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Look it up, Michael.
Hitting it on the head. So in terms of baseball, Yankees did win yesterday. Got to watch the whole game on the flight back. Talk about that in a second. Harrison Bader. Before the game, they announced, he was put on waivers and how that works. A team has to claim him. Yankees can pull him back at any time. If they do claim him, they assume the salary for the rest of the season as he's an impending free agent.
And the way, like lower tier teams, right, have the opportunity to claim him first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But obviously, you would think a playoff contender. But the whole thing is, I mean, he hasn't had a good year. Just started out hot in April, been on the injured list a couple of times. Really not impressive stuff. So, going into the year, especially, the playoffs last year, you're thinking, need to get a contract extension. You traded your homegrown starter in Jordan Montgomery for him. But let's be real, like a lot of guys on this team, has not lived up to it to this season. The numbers are weak: 239, 640 OPS, 7 home runs, 37 RBIs. So, it's very likely, or it's obvious at this point when you put him on waivers that, you're not going to bring him back next year.
Had an error last night.
And, you look at the monthly splits here, Tony. In May, he was great. 6 homers, 19 RBIs, slugging .511. Since then, June, he only had 33 at bats, 273, no homers. July, 237, 1 homer, 11 RBIs, 316 slug. And then in August, 198, slugging .244. So production's not there. Often injured. So once again, turning out to be one of those poor trades for the Yankees. So you look at it, obviously the Yankees all but eliminated from the playoffs, being 4 games under 500 after the win last night. So Jason Dominguez, recently promoted to AAA, setting the world on fire. Esteban Flora all season has been setting the world on fire. So a lot of hype, a lot of hope that, and there's conversations that they've talked to Hal about this, that Wells and Dominguez may be called up. So you would think naturally Dominguez, the center fielder, would be here to take Bader's spot. So I think it's a great move. The only thing, there's controversy that the Yankees could have moved Bader at the deadline. Hal didn't want to sign off on it because we were still in contention. But now we're not. He wants to, not take on the salary. But also, I mean, maybe other teams don't want to take on the salary. I don't know if it's a given that he is going to be claimed. But overall, there's dysfunction because you should have traded him, number one. And then number two, how they didn't tell him before the game.
Dude, that's so messed up, dude, that he learned.
He handled it like a pro at the press conference.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just no reason to do that. And I'm sure Brian Cashman, with the technical thing, no one's claimed him. We could pull him back. So there was nothing to say. It's a formality. People are putting on waivers all the time. You hear all that nonsense. But obviously, he should have been told. But obviously, too, Tony,
he should do better.
He should have played better, and we wouldn't be in this situation. He would have gotten a contract extension. But he's been a major disappointment this year.
I would say so, and we can get in more in because there's actually been a lot of waived players that I thought would be cool to at least touch upon. But do you think the Yankees are like, I don't know, mistreating their players? I mean, when you think about like this season as a whole, the issues they've had with some individual players, that are, I would imagine, results from either front office or management positions. For example, Rizzo, I mean, clearly there is an issue with the medical staff here. The fact that he was still playing, not being able to see the ball, right? Herman's issue with,
the drinking.
You got to assume they knew, like there's no way they put him out there and didn't know.
Right.
I mean, do you think this is really a bigger issue that the Yankees are kind of mistreating their players, dude?
I don't know if it's so much mistreating their players. Obviously, when it comes to Bader, you would think that specifically. But I think, just certain positions, when it comes in the organizational structure, they're weak at. Obviously, general manager is one of them. Analytics is another. Manager is another. So there's a lot, the medical team clearly, has issues. So, I mean, clearly there are a lot of spots where they're weak in. And then supposedly, Josh Donaldson was complaining, before he was put on the 60-day injured list, he didn't need to be out for 60 days. Then yesterday they go out and release him, which is obviously a great thing. We're all set with Josh Donaldson. So yeah, I mean, I think it comes back to Hal and Cashman. So you don't like to see stuff like that. It doesn't seem Yankee-like. But at this point, it's just about moving forward and, deciding on the guys that are going to be here next year and hoping that you get results out of the prospects that, are here and are coming up.
Yeah, I totally agree. And before we move on, I just thought a couple crib notes about other waived players around the league. Carlos Carrasco actually being one of them from the Mets. They waived him. And then we have a bunch actually from the Angels specifically. You had Lucas Giolito, Renato Lopez, Jordan Zimmerman, as well as Dominic Leone, I believe. Grichuk was another player.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfroe,
Mhm.
Matt Moore. Giolito I was pretty surprised about because they picked him at the trade deadline. Johnny Cueto was waived as well. So a lot of these players actually, I think, make for a pretty interesting story to see what type of like contending team right now that's making a push for the wild card or even lower level in the playoffs will pick up one of these guys and perhaps have them make an impact, honestly, in the playoffs.
And it's interesting too because they could still pull them back.
Yeah.
But you feel like
They're not.
there's got to be contention with the players. And for the Angels, like, I mean, you want to talk about a complete joke, 7, under 500, not having a strong farm system to begin with. And then to trade all their top prospects to get CJ Cron, Lucas Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez, yada, yada. And then to put them on waivers to save money. I mean, you want to talk about Ohtani having a 0% chance, and the whole thing with him, with his UCL, probably not pitching, second time John, and not diagnosing. Like we're us Yankee fans are tight about the Yankees organizational structure. I mean, I think it's very evident that the Angels might have the worst in the league, maybe short of like the A's, and for a time the Orioles, maybe they're turning a corner now. But right, I mean, that's an embarrassment.
It really is, dude. And you really, again, like Ryder and I were talking about it yesterday. I mean, it's almost like unfathomable the things that has happened to the Angels organization. I mean, think about whether with the trade deadline, like, yeah, they trade with the top prospects. They're thinking Ohtani is going to be leaving at the end of the season, right? They're like, we're going to go put all in on Ohtani right now. They come out of the trade deadline off of the All-Star break and they lose like their first, 6-7 games. Ohtani, the UCL, dude, more injuries. I mean, it's just like they are literally cursed, dude.
Right.
I mean, and you got to give it to them. I mean, they were talking about the Angels. I mean, they did go out. They got some guys that could be of use to them that could help them win games.
They got the wrong guys, though. That's the problem.
They kind
gave
of
up
did.
their best assets,
short.
But those guys, I mean, come on. Giolito, I guess, decent. The other guys, I mean, nobody was that good where it's worth trading the farm for.
I mean, it certainly wasn't. But again, I think they were in such a desperation mode. And those, I mean, again, you think of the guys who were available. I mean, I don't know how much better they're going to get. So, I mean, it was just desperation. We're going to do it. Because, I mean, again, Ohtani leaves the organization. Like, it's over, dude.
Right.
Like, what? Like, it's over. Well, you have nothing when he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Trout, but
Mickey
obviously
Moniak.
that hasn't been enough. Yeah, I mean, it's just not. It's never going to be that good there for Anaheim, and I mean, it really is a doggone shame, dude. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, just Yankees yesterday, and Josh B saying he's more interested in the New York Liberty than he is the Yankees right now.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Josh.
And it's just, I don't know if he's exaggerating slightly or not, but I know we've talked about this. Like, I still can't help but want to win every game, want to watch the game when I can. I mean, regardless of the circumstances, just because there's always stuff that you're playing for, that you're looking for. And obviously for both of us, we're looking at the future of the team, who's going to be there next year. So that stuff is important. The development of younger players specifically. And I know, it doesn't matter, but I can't help it because, first of all, I just feel like regardless of the finish to this season, the embarrassment is there, the disappointment is there. So whether changes are going to be made or not, I think it doesn't matter how the rest of these 30 games go. So I know the whole thought, lose as many as possible. That means Cashman, Boone gone. I don't think it really works like that, for what I could tell. So I don't know. There's something, and I don't want to sound like I'm settling for less. I think I just making the best of the situation, but I honestly want to finish above 500. It's not that crazy. 4 under right now. 2 more games with the Tigers. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, they've had trouble sweeping teams. Haven't had that sweep since the Royals. But I think there's a chance to go 82 and 80, 83 and 79. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it with the kids at the forefront. So that's just kind of where I am. Any comparison with you? I mean, you feel kind of similar, like wanting to win as many games as possible, wanting the young guys to do as well as possible, wanting to watch when you can.
Yeah, I mean, dude, no matter what, I love to watch Mets games for sure. And I do hope that everyone does well. I mean, I just think that it's good to have like really in any sport. I mean, it's nice to end it on a higher note, no matter what the outcome is.
Right.
It's nice to end your season on a high note because you can say, like, all right, like we left it out there, like we have capabilities of winning. And you just feel better about yourself going into the offseason, going into the following year. It's especially for these young guys. I mean, Josh is saying, like, you get all the kids in there, he'll be interested in the Yankees again. That would be such a boost of confidence for them as a team, as individuals, for those youthful players to be like, all right, like I got in 25 games, 20 games at the end of the season here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel good about going into a full season next year. Like, I know what to expect. Because again, like you start, these new guys get called up. I mean, it's an entire new world for them. They don't know what to think. They don't know really what to expect as much, and they're not going to get a good feel for it until they do it. So, you're always hoping. I'm hoping that the Mets, win out the rest of the season. Absolutely, let's go.
Exactly. So with this game specifically, you had Michael King getting a start. They're building him up to be a starter again. So he was opposed by Skubal. Yankees got on the board early. Gleyber Torres, longest home run of his career, 454 feet in the first inning. So that got the Yankees on the board.
22nd home run.
His 22nd home run. And kind of, value keeps increasing.
271 average.
Seems like there's definitely a split amongst Yankee fans in terms of trading him in the offseason or not.
Yeah.
It's tough, though, because, it's been so hard to get production out of anybody. He leads the American League second baseman in home runs, but you have talented guy in the minors. And I know, Peraza hasn't shown it yet. Pereira hasn't shown it yet. And you got other guys like Trey Sweeney waiting in the wings and guys further down the line here. So I just think somebody's going to be able to take his spot. And there's 1 year left here before he's a free agent. It's another long-term contract to make. It's so tough, but I still think, Tony, the right move this offseason is to trade him. As long as it's a good value. As long as there's good value.
I mean, it should be literally, it should be great value.
Right.
Honestly.
It should be. I mean, he's leading the
how
American
old is he? 29?
26.
26?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, dude. Yeah,
yes.
He's someone who's going to continue to improve. And again, I feel like, you get him off the Yankees, you get him in a different market. I mean, he's going to succeed even more, I feel.
Right. And if you could get a controllable starter, a controllable outfielder, I think it's a no-brainer. So something to watch out for. Obviously, like I said, he's had a great year. King pitched great, gave you 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs or walks, 5 strikeouts. ERA now below 3 at 2.96. I'm excited to see, what he can do as he pitches later into games. 5th inning, you have Kyle Higashioka tying a career high. I believe it was his 10th home run there in the 5th. So that made it 2-0. There was a pass ball in the 6th. Judge scoring on that pass ball to make it 3-0. Anthony Volpe, one of those young guys, that we're looking forward
19th home run. Dude.
19th home run. So
pretty
look
good,
to go
man.
2020. Obviously, you'd imagine he'll be able to hit one more home run.
Yeah.
So that's a solid year. You'd like to see the OPS and the batting average higher, but we talk about getting the lumps out of the way. And overall, that's solid production, that's solid power. There's a lot of big name shortstops that he has more home runs than, like, Trey Turner, like Carlos Correa, like Jeremy Pena, just to name a couple. So Volpe's definitely had a productive year. Clay Holmes has been scored on 5 out of his last 6 appearances, so struggles in the 9th, gives up 2 runs. Everson Pereira tried to preserve the shutout there with that diving catch, gets past him, but luckily Holmes was able to seal the deal. So Yankees win their 2nd consecutive game here against
Struck
the
out
Tigers.
Javi Baez.
Javi Baez, and they were making fun of it on the broadcast, how
Really?
far outside.
Dude, low and away slider. Like, he's such a bum, that
but
guy.
We knew it with the Mets before he signed the big contract with the Tigers. He just the swings and
He's a
misses
fucking loser.
were insane.
Yeah.
So we talk about bad contracts. That might be the worst in baseball. So good to get the win.
First time in a month, back-to-back wins.
Yeah, and I think road wins first 2 of a series since May potentially.
Oh my goodness.
So you love to see that. And one thing too that was going around on Twitter, a lot of people saying, "Oh, King's but had that big injury before, wasn't great as a starter. That while they like to continue, working him in as a starter, that he should be traded in the offseason." I think that's ridiculous. Michael King is so talented. He's in his late 20s. I think you definitely want to keep him. I think he could be a valuable part of this rotation and working his way up stamina wise. But I do think that Clay Holmes, it's been a train wreck lately, but I do think on the open market, he will bring really good value. Loizaga has been impressive since coming back from elbow surgery. I think Clay Holmes is a guy like Torres that you should trade in the offseason. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you gave up nothing to get him, and his value went up here. So
the ROI, dude.
I like Loizaga. And I think other guys, from the minors, can potentially help in the bullpen. Oh, yeah, you haven't had trouble developing bullpen arms. So I think, I think those are my thoughts there. And let's just go win another game tonight. Yeah, you got Cole, whose ERA now under 3 here, 11-4, 2.95, 181 strikeouts, 168 innings. Tigers haven't announced a starter yet, but they're the Tigers. This is a game you should win. Let's creep closer to 500. So that's where I'm at there. The Mets, another tough one last night.
Certainly another tough loss last night. I talked about it yesterday too with Tyler McGill. First time going 6 innings this season, dude. Give up, I think, 1 earned run, whatever it was. Had a great outing. No offense, absolutely wasted it. Same deal. Yesterday, dude. The Rangers win this one 2-1. So you can imagine the lack of offense it's there for the Mets as of recently. But wasting another good quality start of Jose Quintana. I think he's 1-5 on the season. Something like that, and it's every game, every start he has is just there's just no offense. Yeah, he's 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, 5 Ks, no earned runs, 96 pitches over 6 innings, pretty efficient, and 3.26 ERA. After getting struggling with his first 2 starts back from injury, which we've seen, it's no big deal. Like we kind of anticipated that. The guys really brought his ERA down, but the Mets they just were not able to score. They had 7 hits. Only scored 1 run, right? So they were 1 for 6. Sorry, they were 1 over 4 with runners in scoring position. Left 6 men stranded on base here. If you want to go through the scoring a little bit, it wasn't a lot. Obviously, both starters. Andrew Heaney started for the Rangers. Brian knows him all too well.
Pitched well.
5 1/3, 7 Ks, 1 walk, 5 hits. Had great control. The 7 Ks were coming primarily off of fastballs, I see. I understand he threw a lot of changeups as well. Of course, we saw Alonso striking out of blowing away sliders. We've been seeing that recently. It's pretty tough to see the lack of offense against a pitcher like Andrew Heaney. But it was great to see Quintana pitch well against a lineup like the Texas Rangers. It's a tough lineup to get through. And he pitched them quite well. But top of the 7th inning is where the scoring started there for the Rangers, who finally broke that 0-0 seal. Mitch Garver, by the way, he hit that home run off of Drew Smith, I believe. Yes, it was Drew Smith, a solo shot in the 7th, 423 feet to dead center. Now, Mitch Garver, a little interesting. And of course, in the broadcast, it always happens. He comes on, they have a nice little stat there, a little graphic, talking about his career against the Mets. After last night, after that home run, he is 12 of 23 at the plate with 5 dingers. He's been killing the Mets his entire career, which is pretty crazy. And of course, continued it last night with that, that 5th dinger there against the Mets. Over that top of the 9th there, with Bickford, he gave up an RBI single, to kind of score another run in. Bickford seems to have some issue with control. I forget, maybe it was Garcia, I think he was pitching against, and he almost hit him in the head. It was clearly lost the ball. We're struggling with some control there. 24 pitches in an inning and a third is a lot. Coonrod was able to kind of close out the rest of the inning there. But unfortunately, coming at the bottom of the 9th, Vientos against Aroldis Chapman hit his, I think, 4th home run. Hit his 3rd home run of the season to right field. Chapman just, I think it was
in save opportunities. His ERA is terrible.
Really
this year. Yeah,
he got his 4th save, but again, giving up that 1 earned run right there. But it was pretty funny to see Chapman pitch against the Mets here for Texas. Unfortunately, the Mets, I mean, it was too little too late. I mean, a solo shot in the ninth. That's kind of been their MO the past few games, at least against Texas, which is pretty interesting. I mean, again, like you just need to find a way to hit. I mean, you look at this lineup. McNeil was good, 2 for 4. Vientos a DH, 2 for 4 with the home run. That's great. Tim McCastro got his 7th start of the year.
There you go.
Over there in left field.
Future.
Yeah, dude. He was 1 for 3 with a hit, but then I think he got like caught in a pickle the next pitch. It was kind of not his fault. I think Nimmo lined out to first base and McCastro was just standing there. So there really wasn't much you could do about that, honestly. But everyone else, dude, I mean, Alonso's been absolutely horrific. I feel like this past week, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks and a walk.
You think the trade buzz is getting to him?
I don't think so. I don't know, man. I mean, his batting average just kind of sucked all season too. So who knows? It might be in his head, I'm sure. I mean, it's definitely on his, people were asking him about it. I'm sure it is on his mind. And then Lindor 0 for 4 last night, cooling off a little bit after what was a very hot August for him. But it just seems like that's what really the whole team is doing right now, dude. Just a complete lack of hitting. 11 Ks as a team, dude. So not great. But we move on to tonight, which also doesn't look great. We have this guy Reyes pitching for the Mets and against Dane Dunning, who does have a decent ERA in 3.36, 9-6 win-loss record there for him. We look at Denny Reyes. This guy, we've seen him a few times. A young guy, 26 years old. Spent most of his year in Syracuse. But his numbers in Syracuse kind of suck, dude. In AAA. I mean, he's got, a few appearances out of the bullpen, but 15 starts. His ERA is a 5.80, 76 innings pitched. He's going to have 80 hits, 21 home runs, and only 59 strikeouts. So, I mean, not great at all numbers in Syracuse. He's had a couple starts for the Mets this season. He started against the Braves, and that was the game they lost 21-3. So, I mean, I really am confused. Like, again, there's other guys in the minors I feel that could be moved up to be used. So I don't know, man. I don't know what they see in this guy. But again, I mean, it seems like he's going to get freaking popped, And again, like, Mets haven't been scoring a lot. So I can see this being one of those games where they do end up scoring a lot, but they end up losing 8-6 or something like that. So
so you're taking the Rangers?
That's what I'm taking the Rangers 8-6.
Wow.
Let's do it, dude.
That I thought you were going to say a bounce back.
I don't think so. Reyes does not be a bounce back. And if anyone bounced back, I feel like it would be the Rangers lineup to actually have some offense going. So,
wow. Hey,
Mitch Garver. Crazy? Yeah, he is crazy against the Mets, dude. It is.
But everyone else, he's kind of just like
not that great.
No. Speaking of a tight one, Tony, 28-27. I know it's been a while since we've had picks.
That's right, dude. Yeah.
So we got till October here, so we got a while. But yeah, I'll put you down for the Rangers. Obviously, as you can imagine, I am sticking with the Yankees. Love that Cole is out there. I think we're going to see a double-digit strikeout game from Garrett Cole. Clearly the front runner for the American League Cy Young. So, I think he just wants to cement that. I think he's jacked up. And what I'm really looking for, and I went into this, calling up Peraza and Pereira, that they're going to have to take their lumps. They're both hitting in the 100s, so haven't really made an impact offensively yet. But this is a game that I look for them to do something. And I'm not saying, they're going to hit for the cycle, even hit home runs, but I mean, I think they're going to make an impact. I'm going to say Peraza, give him a 2-run triple, in a key spot, maybe third, fourth inning. Give me 2 hits for Pereira. I know he's, looked a little lost at times with the strikeouts. Give me Anthony Volpe getting that 20th home run too. I think he's feeling confident. He's ready to go. So youth being a theme, good pitching being a theme. Let's let Loizaga pitch the 9th, not Clay Holmes, who's blown it the last 2 days. Luckily, they've been able to win. All of that amounts to, I believe, a 5-1 victory over the Tigers.
Love it, dude. I think my next pick, I'm gonna go with a nice easy one as we're starting off, easing our way back into the pick segment. I'm picking the Dodgers here tonight.
Gonsolin, Tommy John.
I
That's
know that
tough.
sucks. That's really tough.
Brutal
Dude.
pitching injuries for the Dodgers this year. But
Oh my God,
they're
dude.
just one of the best teams in the league. Doesn't
Still,
matter. Isn't that nice?
82 wins right now. Yeah, unbelievable, dude. Speaking of one of the best teams in baseball, they've won 4 out of their last 5. I think dropping 1 game to Boston. Their past 2 games, they beat Arizona, going for the sweep tonight. They've scored 16 runs in their past 2 games against Arizona, so easily their offense is clicking quite nicely. We have a newbie on the mound there, Ryan Peapot. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Peapot.
26 years old. Couple starts already. This month specifically. I mean, you're looking at 4 innings, 1 earned run against Cleveland, 5 innings, 1 earned run against Miami. So I would think even if he does struggle a little bit here against Arizona, that has a decent lineup. You have Brandon Pfad on their team. Another rookie, I believe, this season. Definitely another rookie, but ERA well above a 5 now. Struggling against teams like LA, where he pitched 4 2/3, earned 4 runs. So clearly, some of the Dodgers have seen him before. So I think they can hit up on him again. So give me Dodgers going for the sweep, extending their home win streak here. I'm gonna say 6-3.
Speaking of win streaks, I think the Braves will get this sweep in Colorado here. They've won the last 2 games, 14-4, 3-1 last night. Ozuna every night he's hitting a home run, hit one last night.
Oh yeah.
Kyle Freeland on the hill for Colorado, 5-13, 5 ERA. I think he's been terrible I don't know how he has a job. It's kind of ridiculous. Viennes hasn't pitched in the major leagues yet. Getting the start there, I don't think it matters. I think this offense is just insane. We know about Acuna, the 60 steals, and going to hit 25, 30 home runs this year. Olsen, 43 home runs is ridiculous, Tony.
And it really is.
So I think another big win here. I'm going to say 12-2. Matt Olson, 3 home runs to get to 46 home runs, really finding his stride this year.
Wow, dude. Speaking of finding his stride, Josh B thinks you are reaching.
You would think, but I think it's the Tigers. And I understand the sweeps, the Angels giving us problems, but I don't know. It seems like there's somewhat offensively a corner turned. And then Garrett Cole, he wants to win the Cy Young. He wants to finish this season as strong as possible. He came to New York to win. And while that might not be this year, I think he really wants to just set the tone for the years to come.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think it's a stretch.
No, yeah, I don't think it's that much of a stretch. But you know what isn't a stretch? The Phillies beating the Angels tonight. We're just talking about the dumpster fire, the wavered players. Reed Detmers on the mound, who's been certainly lackluster in his past 5 starts. I believe something along the lines of like 15, 16 earned runs over his last 5 starts. He had 1 good start, I think, against Texas, actually, we know their offense has been kind of lackluster this month. So that no surprise there. And Philly with a young guy in the mound, Christopher Sanchez, 3.33 ERA. So through about, I think, 5 or 6 starts so far this season, he's been doing pretty well. Nothing really more than, nothing worse than 6 innings, 200 runs. So if he does that, I think the rest of the company here at the Phillies, like Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, who actually has a good career against Reed Detmers, Alec Boehm as well, I think can pick up some more slack. So Phillies win 5-3.
Last pick, a team with a little heartbreak yesterday won the game, but lost a no-hitter in the 9th. Alex Cobb had only allowed an error, runner to each on an error, but they end up winning the game, but he doesn't get the shot. Whatever. But the Giants, they kind of an inconsistent year. 69, 63. Same thing with the Reds. Have had hot streaks at times, but have lost 4 out of 5. Giants have won 3 in a row, but I think they complete the sweep here. They got their best pitcher on the hill in Logan Webb, 9-10, 3.51 this year. And how about former Met Wilmer Flores, a career year, 292, Tony, 14 home runs for Wilmer Flores. Get the tissues out for the tears of Mets fans for Wilmer Flores. But Hunter Green, he's been injured a lot this year, 80 innings, 108 strikeouts, but struggles with consistency, 14 home runs allowed in 80 innings. Give me Flores, 3 hits, 20th home run of the year, a Giants victory. Let's call it 5-2.
I like it. It's a good pick, dude.
So
Giants got a lot of former Mets.
Yeah. Did you ever see it with Flores that he was going to reach these levels, or do you think it's just one of those outlier?
I think it's outlier. Yeah, 292 is a lot, dude.
Gets cut midway through next season.
Possibly.
Yeah. So crazy though. Crazy. I mean, he definitely had some hype at one point though.
Big clubhouse guy.
Huge
clubhouse guy. Utility player.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was just seeing he signed. Okay, so they have and they have that option, so he's going to be a Giant.
I know, pretty crazy.
Numbers were not crazy before, though. I mean, the 18 home runs in 17 wasn't bad. Fine,
but I mean, the average was never near. I mean,
not bad in 15, but the average was never that good. Yeah, the 229 hitter last year. I didn't realize he's been with the Giants that long.
Honestly, me neither, dude. 4 years. I mean, good for him.
Yeah. So Wilmer Flores, Tony, has he gotten a tribute video?
Yes.
Did they show him crying on the?
I don't think they showed him that, dude.
Heard you guys talking tribute videos yesterday.
Yeah, did you hear
there was Scherzer,
what are we doing, dude? You know, don't need it.
So something that's got to go. I think it's part of the soft society.
Quick, gotta go.
I think, though, honestly.
Yeah, and I just think since it's been done too, it's like almost expected now.
Right.
You know.
Right. Exactly. So that's what we got.
It is what it is, dude. That's what we got. Yeah, dude, great day.
Yeah, almost hitting the 2-hour mark, and he's saying the tribute video, LMAO.
Yep. He's
so he sees the humor in it, Tony.
He does.
But yeah, football around the corner, stretch run here in baseball. And while it might not, feature our teams, but like we said, there is stuff to play for. There is stuff to want to see, want to watch. So that's all good and well, Tony. But that being said, great to be back. Appreciate everybody hanging with us today.
Have you back, dude.
Oh yeah, back in the saddle, ready to go. Didn't miss a beat today, Tony. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, that is for sure, dude.
But we appreciate everybody tuning in, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume. Shout out to the company, Josh B, Kev Do, Yanni. You guys are the best. And the merch. DowntimeTV.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees.
Let's go Mets.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.